And we're live. That's right, we are live. It's awesome. I have my Mickey Mouse shirt here. I'm ready to talk about theme parks. What are they? Are they any good? And should vegans go there? Well, the short answer is no. The long answer is hey. No. No, it's let's give it a few minutes to see who shows up. But if not, don't worry about it. You'll get the replay. Now today, I must say, I have a bit of a sore throat, so I don't know. Maybe this one will be a shorter live stream than I had planned, but let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how I feel. Uh, Again, as always, the lighting is terrible. Oh man, and the audio might be choppy or whatever, or unintelligible. The audio is fine, guys. I'm telling you, it's fine. But I don't know. Maybe the audio is not good, but but it doesn't matter. We're gonna do this thing anyway. We're gonna talk about a subject that is very dear and near to my heart. Hello, Martin Kevin. El Martin Kevin. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Señor Martin. All right. All right. Yeah, maybe I should do like a Spanish. Maybe I should have like a Spanish channel. I don't know. Like having just one channel is already too much. So I don't know, a second one, but maybe in the future. Who knows? Um, All right, Martin. Well, I'm doing fine. As I was saying here, I have a cold, like a sore throat. That's from all the cunnilingus. But don't worry, it only hurts when I talk, breathe, or swallow. So no big deal. Hello, vegan animal defender 269. Hello there. So yeah, we are talking theme parks today. That's right, and the ethics of vegans going to these places. Now, I'm gonna say, well, probably the first part of this is gonna be me fanboying over, these places or something like that, to that effect. And then the second part is gonna be the part where things get really, really complicated, and it's terrible because let's face it. When you go vegan, one of the first things that you notice is how the world, no matter what opinion you had of the world before, good or bad, now it's really terrible. Like now it's just this horrible hell on earth in all of its forms. It's like there's nowhere you can go where there's no animal exploitation, where there's no horrible thing happening. It's like it's so much worse than you even imagine. And one of the first things that happened to me more than 3 years ago when I went vegan is that I started thinking of all these places that I used to like. And like, wait a minute, my favorite places are actually horrible. And they've been doing these terrible things for years. And what the heck? They are participating in this horrible massacre of animals and the exploitation of these creatures and stuff. And this goes to any place from like the restaurants, because if you know me, I'm all about food. Always like I you know so hey, Alice here. Hello. All right, so yeah, I'm all about that. And I used to like the shopping malls, and the theme parks. Those things are always things that I always used to enjoy so much. But now that experience might be, not the same because, hey, decidedly Donna is here. That's right. Nice to see you here. We're gonna talk about some stuff about things and others. So yeah. Hmm. So yeah, as I was saying, so these places, that used to be something that I liked, now I'm seeing things that I had never seen before and that I never even considered. And when it comes to theme parks, I know that there's two camps. Or basically three. Like there's people who love theme parks, especially the Disney parks or the Universal theme parks, and there's people who absolutely hate them. You know, uh, or neutral people who never go and don't even care. So now I will say, traditionally, I am known as one of those Disney adults, very annoying Disney adult that is a person who goes to these parks without kids, like an adult who goes there unironically without any kids. But let me tell you, that is the ultimate experience. Going with kids, that's annoying. Your kid has to go to the bathroom like 20 times a day, and you know, and they get all, I don't know. They're annoying. Let's face it. That's the truth. They are. I mean, it's cool to see their faces light up with all the characters and the colors and the music and everything that's going on. But you know, yeah, you guys are talking over there. Nice. So yeah, they're annoying. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. If you go by yourself, it's way better because you can do whatever you want. Now, I'll tell you a story that did happen to me. The last time I went to the Orlando area to the theme parks. That was with my family. This was 12 years ago. Um, Obviously, this was at a time when I wasn't vegan. This thing happened to me. One of the days, we were supposed to go to Universal Studios. And for some reason, the rest of my family decided to not go. But I did go by myself. And I thought, this is not gonna be as good because the part of the charm of these places is that you share this experience with the people that are with you. Your usually your family or a group of friends or whatever. Let me tell you, it was the best day ever. It was freaking awesome. I basically did the entire park like twice. I had no one to drag me down, no one with like a bathroom breaks or lunchtime or whatever. I was like, whatever I wanted to do, I would do. It was freaking awesome, and I didn't have to wait in line so much because there's this thing called the single rider lines, and that was me. So you can go to that line. It's not as heavy, not as large, and not so much waiting time as the other more traditional line with the entire family. So that put me in an advantage at that time, and it was really really cool. I forgot I even had a family. Oh man, I forgot I even had a family. I was like there with those characters from Universal, Beetlejuice and all those guys, Frankenstein and whatnot. So it was really cool. And oh man, yeah. The only bad part is when you have to leave. That's just really sad. I will tell you. Oh man, and let me tell you that right back home, like the last day of the visit, whatever. That's the worst part. Like that's just so freaking depressing. But hey, the rest of the thing is freaking awesome. So and I guess it's freaking depressing because you never know when you're coming back or if you're coming back. Even it's like I said, it's been 12 years for me. That is way too much. I've got an itch, and I've been accumulating this thing, and it's like no, I need to go to. Oh man! But now I will say that because there's many misconceptions that people have, especially if they haven't been there. They might think of this park like Disney or Universal Studios or whatever. You might think that these parks are just like some regular amusement park with like a Ferris wheel and some games where you win a plush toy or whatever. But that's not what it is. These places are, first of all, they're gigantic. Like it's just ridiculous. Vacation, they're basically a vacation complex with resort, hotels, bunch of stuff to do, a bunch of stores, bunch of things to see and do for everyone. Not just the kids. It's for families basically. There's something for everyone, no matter their age, and the level of technology and imagination and creativity. Don't they have exploited animals there? I'm gonna go and talk about that, Martin. Kevin, don't you worry. This is just the first part where I'm in fanboy mode, and then I'm gonna go in vegan mode and talk about all the horrible things that are there in the parks, because I'm not gonna let them, uh, not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell it just like it is. So don't worry about it. I'm going there. But yeah, so these things, they're places where the rides, the attractions, and everything is like is at a level that I haven't seen anywhere else. And I'm one of those that if you tell me to Disney World when I was a little kid, oh, all right. So it's there's nothing quite like it really. I mean, there's no other vacation, and there's people who are like that. I'm sick. Like, there's no other vacation. You tell me, hey, want to go see the Grand Canyon? I'm not gonna be like, are you like mentally ill? Why would I go want to go see the Grand Canyon? Go to the Grand Canyon, and that's what it is. It's a giant hole in the ground. Like, okay, giant hole in the ground. I saw it. What else is there? There's nothing to that. Supposed to go to Marineland when I was small, but I never went because I was bad. Ah, yeah, well, it was a good thing you didn't go, because Marineland, that doesn't sound very good. Um, I did get to go to SeaWorld several times, sadly, and even if someone, even for someone that wasn't at the time against animal exploitation, SeaWorld never seemed like a good place. It's not really. It's one of the worst places of animal exploitation that there can be. Even in that last one visit 12 years ago, there was this walrus, and the walrus was, you could tell, like the walrus, like you can see it in his eyes, that the guy was just not having a good time there, like not at all. And I was like, what is this? Why do they have this walrus here who is obviously in some excruciating pain situation or something? Like, he seemed depressed, and it's like that's not a show, that's not a spectacle, that's just horrible to have someone like that. And even back then, when I wasn't, vegan or anything like that, not even close, but I have memories of zoos. Oh yeah, in my hometown, I went to the zoo in Venezuela when I was a kid, and you have no idea. It was terrible. Like, it's even worse because obviously it's a third world country with, so whatever. The zoo was just this horrible place, and the animals were just having a terrible time. My hometown of Maracaibo is extremely hot, and it can get past the 40 degrees Celsius easily. That's like more than 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think it's even in the hundreds, by the way, if you use the Fahrenheit thing. And I remember that there was this lion that was, first of all, looked malnourished, and also he was just, no pun intended, lying down, there, just like miserable. And I was like, what is this? This isn't fun. This isn't good. And I was a little kid, but I was like, what is this thing? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Um, Once went to an aquarium. Aquariums, and by the way, I don't know if you saw the news, but recently in SeaWorld, it happened that one of those killer whales or orcas, whatever, had a, you know, a situation, a bathroom emergency whilst performing a stunt, and it splashed people in the audience with the emergency. So yeah, that happened. Um, it's ridiculous how these places they try to embellish it with saying, yeah, exactly, yeah, it was of the number two variety. Uh, so yeah, uh, you know, one time I remember I went to this Sea World. This was like in '96, and I sat in one of the splash zone rows, and when the shamu, a whale, did the thing with the tail and splashed us with water, it was like it was like getting hit by a car. That amount of water, it it hits you. It's like solid, and then it's extremely cold, and not to mention salty. Like it's the taste, the smell, the temperature, and you can only imagine what the whale, the animal, is thinking while there, and it was this horrible thing. I was like, ugh, should be free. Solution: don't go and watch exploited animals. Yeah, exactly. um it's just absolutely terrible, this SeaWorld thing. And I don't know, I never really liked it, and I guess I never really liked it. There's another thing in Tampa Bay, Florida. There's this park called Busch Gardens. It's simply what it is. It's just a zoo with roller coasters. That's what it is. Hey, Jackie Boyle, thank you for being here. Um, that's what Busch Gardens is. It's just a zoo plus some roller coasters. I'm not a roller coaster guy, and obviously not a zoo guy, so there's nothing for me there. Um, Absolutely nothing. It's like a complete waste of space, energy, resources, money, whatever. It's like it's a place that shouldn't exist. And I don't understand. Like they could exist without all the animals. They could just have the roller coasters, and instead of animals. Again, I'm gonna go to that part too. Now that I'm gonna talk about the Disney stuff and the Universal stuff. These theme parks and stuff, especially Disney, Universal, they have this technology with like animatronics and stuff like that. And for those of you, if you don't know what an animatronics is, it's basically a life-size figure, could be human or animal or whatever, but it's basically a robot, but something like that. It's just a figure that moves and talks and whatnot. They could do a freaking animatronic zoo. They don't need actual animals there. I don't understand why they couldn't just have like an animatronics place or holograms or virtual reality or something where they show you some 3D generated images of animals instead of an actual animal there being exploited, being miserable. It just doesn't make any sense, especially in this day and age. As much money as possible. Yeah, but you know what? Thinking of all the money, why would you make more money with an animal there that needs to get medical care, a bunch of food, a bunch of stuff, and that cannot be cost effective. I think it would be more cost effective to have just some animatronics hippopotamus than an actual one. Like I don't know. I don't know the running cost of that, but I'm guessing like it should be more. In fact, it is because I remember that the reason that the Jungle Cruise in Disneyland, the original one, was a bunch of animatronics animals, and this is true, was because it was cheaper to have those animals be animatronic figures than actual animals. So I don't get it. If back then in the 60s they had this technology already and they can do a jungle cruise with no animals, with no actual animals in it, and still be a good, memorable experience and really fun, why couldn't they just replicate that for the rest of the things? I don't understand why animals are an entertainment. They're not entertainment. They're just individuals who don't sign up for this thing. Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't have real animals at all. That's the thing. That's the thing. There should not be any animals there. It makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. But obviously, they say things like, "Well, we're doing this conservation thing and whatever," and it's like, no, you're not. You're just the conservation side of things is just to wash your image, to look good to the public, but you don't really care about conserving any animal or anything. Like, you don't care. A massive roller coaster fan, but amusement parks like Six Flags are safe to go to as vegans, right? Well, there would be if Six Flags hadn't gone bankrupt. Yeah. No, no, but all joking aside, I guess if you're a massive roller coaster fan, you could go to a roller coaster amusement park. They usually don't have, that I know of, they may not have as animals there in display or anything, but remember that the food is another thing that many may not consider, but that's the other part of these places. Um, they have a bunch of food vendors or restaurants even, and what do they serve you there? A bunch of dead animals, obviously. Sure, you could get like some popcorn or something like that, but still, like you know where you're going. Like they're going to exploit animals because that's what people usually do, and they need to get as many people there as possible. It's a business. They don't really care about ethics, and because people don't generally care about ethics. So these places, especially Disney, that gets millions of visitors a year, they're gonna cater to the more common denominator, to the what people mostly want to do. So I thought it was weird when Cheap Lazy Vegan did a thing on which foods to get at the Calgary Stampede Rodeo. I mean, if you go to the Stampede Rodeo and you're expecting to get some vegan food, I don't know what vegan food is going to be that. I mean, they may have some plant based option or whatever, but it's a rodeo. Like, what does it matter if they have plant based anything? It's a freaking rodeo. I actually sent a DM, by the way, to a restaurant here in Houston. It's a vegan restaurant, but when the rodeo started in Houston, it usually starts around like February, March. They did this thing with like a rodeo themed menu, obviously all plant based. But I was like, restaurant, I sent them a DM, like saying, hey, what are you doing, guys? Like, this is not cool. Like, why are you promoting like a rodeo? Because the menu had like a drawing of a guy on a horse and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, this is not cool. That's not something that a vegan restaurant should be promoting. So they were like, no, but we're trying to get, the same old response, corporate response of, well, we try to cater to people and this is a tradition and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, it's a tradition, but you could do something like have like a like a QR code that they could scan and maybe get to some page where they tell them all about why the rodeo is not a good thing, about like you can do activism even with that. Maybe okay, have the menu with the rodeo theme, but then have like a message that says, hey, this, this is wrong for this reason or that reason or whatever, something like that, and do some little bit of activism with your business. But hey, I guess that's not what they wanted. I don't know. It's absolutely horrible. I have never been to one, and I won't ever go to one. Yeah, no, exactly. Like it's just ridiculous. Disgusting exploitation in the form of bullfighting and the bull runs. Oh yeah, exactly. Oh, because you're in Spain, right? Yeah, yeah. Spain is a very particular, very peculiar place, right? Because it's like a European country, but it's like so third world with many of their practices and traditions or whatever. It's ridiculous. By the way, they wanted to do, because there was this horrible thing that happened, this flash flood thing that happened in Valencia, Spain. And one thing that they wanted to do is these bullfighters, they wanted to do this bullfighting for the victims, something like that, like a bullfighting event to get some funds for the big. And I'm like, what? You have to be really mentally ill. You have to be really sick in the head to want to do bullfighting for victims of a disaster. Like what? Like the cognitive dissonance and the malevolence of this is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Um, but yeah, Spain is like, I mean, it's in Europe, but I don't consider it a first world country or anything. It's just, and you can see that Latin America is what it is because we were, colonized by them. Sorry, not sorry. Just gonna tell it how it is. It seems like shopping, let me see, at a non-vegan store or paying a non-vegan electrician. You can control how they use your money, even if you avoid animal exploitation at an amusement park. All right, sure, you cannot control how they spend your money, but it's the same. I mean, look, here's the thing with these places. Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you this. As a Disney expert that I am, I'll tell you at least how the Disney experience could go. And this is a great point by Animal Defender here. When you plan a vacation there, you have to get a general entrance ticket. Now, what you're paying is obviously for your entrance to the park. You're not paying for any particular experience as it is, but obviously they're covering their expenses there. So they're covering for the electricity, water use, all of that kind of stuff, their operational stuff. And I'm guessing this includes any animals that are there. Now, they do this thing called the dining plan, and it's basically a thing where you plan your vacation there and you pay in advance for what you're going to eat instead of having to pay out of pocket when every time you go to a restaurant. The problem with that is there's no vegan way to do it, because if you pay, let's say, I don't know the price, but let's say you pay, I don't know, $75, whatever, for the dining plan, you're paying for animal exploitation even if you don't consume any of the animals. Even if you get all the plant-based options, that's not like, it's not gonna go, oh, this guy only had the plant-based, so his money is gonna go to that. Like, no, that's not how they're gonna view it. You're paying for the entire thing. It doesn't matter what you eat. So it's the dining plan could not, like, that's definitely not a vegan thing to do. They don't have, as of today, a plant-based dining plan. And I don't know that if they ever going to implement one or not. It's awful, people are obsessed here, but there is animal rights activists in the big cities at least. Yeah. So the dining plan, that's definitely out of the question. There's no vegan way to do it. There's another thing. something that I hadn't considered until recently. Because I've been following these YouTubers, these travel agents, YouTubers and stuff. Um, and what I did notice, when you book a hotel, for example, one thing they have now is like they have like a coffee maker, and they have like these little creamers and stuff. Obviously, they're not going to be plant based. So in the cost of your hotel stay, you're already paying for milk, you're already paying for creamers and stuff like that. So even if you don't want to, and some of these hotels, they include like a breakfast or something. So even if you don't want to, but just by booking the hotel, you're already paying for animal exploitation, even if you don't participate in it. There's no way to avoid that if you go. Vegan ticket option for amusement parks, something that ensures our money is in supporting animal exploitation. You know, yeah, I'm thinking, could there be a way to have like a, I mean, it would be kind of nice if, for example, Disney implemented a plant-based dining plan. That could be cool. I mean, in their menu, they do indicate very visibly what options are there for vegans and stuff, and they have all kinds of options for different, like allergies and stuff like that, which is nice. It's a good thing, but anyway, I mean, it's the same. There's no way around it. So someone goes there, you have to know that there's going to be restaurants. These restaurants are going to be serving mainly chopped up corpses of animals. So that's something that, obviously you can bring your own stuff. That's the other thing. You can bring your snacks and stuff. So you can bring fruits, you can bring your, whatever, any plant-based thing that you get. You can take it to the parks. There's no problem with that. You don't have to eat at the restaurants or anything. Could be in Catalonia, it's illegal, but they still exploit the bulls in other ways. No fighting, but bull runs. Yeah. So you can bring your own stuff. Now, there's the other part that I was going to say about this. For example, to my knowledge, in the for example, the Magic Kingdom, for example, that's one of the main parks in the Disney World area. There's this place called Main Street USA. Main Street USA is like it pays homage to Walt Disney's hometown when at the time he was a little kid growing up there, whatever. So this was at the turn of the century, so it looks like the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. Very nice, very pretty, but the problem is there is such a thing as a horse-drawn carriage. And it's dumb. Like, why would they have that? First of all, they don't need to have that there. If they want a carriage, they can do like one of those electronic ones that are now being implemented in other places. It probably wouldn't go with the theme of the turn of the century, but they could make it like a steampunk kind of theme. They could retheme that part and make it like a little bit more like, I don't know. It doesn't have to stay that way. There's no reason why they need to have slave there. The slaves there. There's no reason for it. Doesn't matter if it's like a tradition or whatever. It's a dumb tradition anyway, and they can do without it. Another thing in the parks, Epcot has an entire, they have one of the buildings there. It is an aquarium. So it is an aquarium. Now they said they were going to free the dolphins, but that turned out to not be entirely true. They're going to take the dolphins out of Epcot, but they will send them to another aquarium. So they're not being freed. They're just sending them to some other place where they will still be exploited. Um, yeah, exactly. I mean, horses are exploited everywhere. Um, in fact, one thing that I found out that they told me, I had some Cuban co-workers, they told me that to get here to the US, what they had to do was they took a flight from Cuba to Nicaragua, and then from there they would have to traverse all sorts of terrains and stuff. And there's a segment of the terrain and whatnot that they have to traverse by horse. You know, there's no vehicles or anything that drive there, so it's like they're exploiting a horse to to get to the US, whatever. It's like, I don't know, man. Oh man, it's just, there's no end to this. Like there's just no end, and anywhere you go, you're gonna find all sorts of instances of animal exploitation. But I was thinking, even if, oh, because this is the other thing, and continuing about the Disney parks, they have a bunch of resort hotels. In some of them, they have activities such as horse riding and or fishing, because they are like nature theme and whatnot, and like, no. And also, there's this other thing that I was going to talk about. One of the parks at Disney, the newest one, it's already been years since it opened, but I call it the newer one. It's called Animal Kingdom. And yeah, it's terrible. It's basically a gigantic zoo. Um, it's the dumbest decision ever. I don't know why the heck. I mean, I do know why they did it. They did it to rival Busch Gardens in Tampa, because obviously they're trying to take away all the tourists for themselves. So they maybe saw the opportunity. They thought, hey, what do we do not have here? Oh, I know, a gigantic zoo. So that's what they came up with, and it's a gigantic zoo. That's what it is, and there's like a safari and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. And I went there, and the safari, it's like you don't see any barriers. There's no fence or anything between you and the animals. But you know why that is? Because the fence actually, it's an electric fence that is below the ground. So you don't really see it, but the animals do feel it, so they cannot get out of there. Like they cannot get to you because there's this electric fence that prevents them from getting out or getting to you. Now, while I was in the safari thing, I saw behind a rock okay. Yeah, I think Mickey Mouse tried to sabotage me while I was talking about the Animal Kingdom. Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Can you see me and hear me? Okay. I never heard of that method before. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Hello, hello. Okay, perfect.
Hello.
This is my microphone. Eh? This is professional, people. Eh? Professional. This is what the pros use. All right. So yeah, I think Mickey Mouse tried to sabotage the live stream. Um, I see some other people here. Nerds like us. Nerd. Charms cool. It's fixed. Okay, cool. Yeah. Disney, so Okay, so I was saying the zoo and the electric fence. Oh, what I was saying. So behind that rock, there was this cheetah. And I was like, what the heck, a cheetah? I was scared shitless. Obviously the cheetah was like sleeping and stuff. And what I found out is that they had him, sedated and stuff. Which is ridiculous. It's like, why are you gonna have a cheetah there if you're gonna have them sedated just so that they can be there with the other animals or whatever? Like, that's ridiculous. It's just another display of human stupidity. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, the cheetah was just there, like, well, whatever. And I still was scared, because it's a cheetah. And I didn't know that there was an invisible fence. I thought, this guy wakes up, I'm dead. you know? But, nothing happened. Um, but that was the day that I saw a giraffe for the first time, uh, in person or in giraffe zone. And I gotta say, obviously, it was amazing seeing a giraffe. Obviously, I would have wished to not see the giraffe in that situation, but it is a majestic animal. I don't know how you guys feel about giraffes, but they are majestic. That's all I can say. They are absolutely beautiful in person. Um, and yeah, but the exploitation and the stuff is just absolutely ridiculous. It has no place in today's society. It doesn't. We can do without all of that. Um, this animal kingdom, it shouldn't exist. Like, if you want to admire animals, you can just do it without having to exploit them. There's no use for that. There's no. Oh man, I don't know what to tell you. So here's the thing, right? The Disney World vacation, if you pay for your tickets, this is the other thing. You pay for a multi-day, multi-park ticket. You're not paying necessarily for the Animal Kingdom park. You can not go to that one if you don't want. But the problem is, you still pay the Disney Corporation for whatever you're going to do anyway. So they took your money anyway. So it doesn't matter, you don't go there physically, because you already gave them your money for that. So, it's like, it doesn't matter if you don't go. The other thing is, if you do go to these places, what you're basically saying is something like, well, I'm vegan, I'm against exploitation and stuff, but like, I I allow you to do your, like, I'm okay with this operation, which is not true. You're not okay with that operation. But I don't know. What did you say that happens sometimes, Martin K? Yeah. Yeah, Martin Kevin, what did you say? Lilo Multipass. Yeah. Which, by the way, there was this ride at Magic Kingdom at some point. Oh man, it was like the extraterrestrial, and there was this alien, this really scary alien. It was freaking awesome. I mean, at first I was like, this is just some special effect, whatever. This is not gonna do anything to me. When the alien stood up behind me and shook my seat, my life, I lost it. I, you know, turned every color. my my blood pressure dropped. I was like, I'm dying here. Like I was fine with listening, like hearing the steps because everything was dark and stuff. So the alien is like running around. And I was like, those are just special effects. Then the alien breathes on you. I was like, that's just an effect. But bloody hell, I'm telling you, when it went like this, bloody hell, that was just too much. I'm sorry, it was too much. I could not take it. But then I went there like a bunch of more times. But that ride was too scary for guests, so it did close at some point. Um, I'm mentioning it because nerds like us said at Lilo Multipass, and it reminded me of Lilo and Stitch. And there's this Stitch. They replaced the alien scary encounter with some Stitch adventure, whatever. It wasn't the same. I mean, but that alien encounter that was really cool. That was really cool. It's scary but cool. you know, man, like, and yeah, we do need a vegan theme park. That would be freaking amazing. Like imagine the Gary Yourofsky coaster, the Ass Bread Express. Oh man. And the park would have like the David Arenas complaints and suggestions. Oh man, that would be. Yeah, I know it's from the Fifth Element, but yeah, I know it's the Fifth Element, but I'm telling you, there's this Lilo and Stitch, and it reminds me of that. Um, but yeah, we need a vegan world. Yeah, exactly. We do need a vegan world. But in the making of that vegan world, we could have a vegan theme park. It would be really cool, you know, with animatronics of different vegans and stuff. And just like Disney has the Hall of Presidents, we could have the Hall of Vegans, and it's like Leslie Cross speaking about his definition and stuff. Veganism and stuff, and yeah, could be cool. And would be cool, yeah. And we could have the extraterrestrial encounter with it's a vegan world after all. Hey, that would be awesome. Like with little kids singing about veganism and stuff. That could be really cool. Yeah, why not? That could be a great ride, actually. And why not Vegans of the Caribbean instead of Pirates of the Caribbean? That could be really cool with like boats and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it now. I'm getting a vision. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I should. I don't know. If only I was Elon Musk's long lost nephew from Venezuela, I could borrow some money to make a park. But sadly, I'm not that. So I don't know if I can convince him that I am his long lost nephew. Man, like, hey, Uncle Elon, who the heck are you? Like, hey, I'm Elon Antunes from Venezuela. Don't you remember that time when you went there and you ate arepas and and drank Malta? Don't you remember that in 1999? No, I don't. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. There goes my plan. Yeah, shucks. Fruitarians of the Caribbean. Yeah, and for the debate, bros, we could have like the alien encounter with the xenomorph. That could be cool. That's what they like, right? So maybe we could have like the chupacabras encounter and the xenomorph and stuff. For the debate, bro, crowds amongst us. Sure, why not? Don't forget the punching bag of all the debate bros and welfare to 10 times who need a little extra motivation to rethink their views. Yeah, exactly. Not all fruitarians are vegan. Yeah, no, exactly. Fruitarians of the Caribbean. Oh man, that could be really cool. It's a small world. Then it's a vegan world. What other ride we could do? Yeah, I don't know. But it's taking shape. I like it. Yeah, I like it. We're coming up with good ideas. But really, it would be a dream, really, to have like a vegan park. But instead, what we have is this. So ultimately, you know, I don't know if I'll ever go back or not. Probably not with my family because I've thought about it and I said, man, these people don't even respect me as a vegan here. And having to go on a vacation with these people and going to those places and stuff and seeing them, consume animals here and there and not caring about any of that, I'm not gonna have a good time with that. So I don't know if I ever go back, would probably be either by myself, which I always wanted to do, like a solo Disney vacation, or I don't know, maybe I find a vegan group or vegan friend or something, and we go there or something. I don't know. We can put them in the island of misfit toys. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's tough, and they don't even see what you see. So it's, I don't know, going with family. I don't know. I really don't know because that's the other thing, right? As I was saying at the beginning, like it's a place that it always was like my favorite place of all, and I one of those that to me there's no other vacation or anything like that. But I don't know if returning there as a vegan will it have the same magic that it used to, or will it be tarnished by the now my awareness now of all these things that they do? I don't know. Um, really don't know. It would be really interesting to find out if that will just be, even though they do have like a guest relations and stuff, and I guess you can do activism there. You can get some vegan outfits and stuff that say vegan or go vegan or something about the animals and stuff, and maybe talk to people when you're in line for the rides or something and have conversations. And even the guest relations part of the park, you can tell them, hey, I'm concerned about this thing, there's this horse going around and things like, I mean, I don't know, it's something that they don't get. I don't think they get many vegans at the parks, so it would be interesting, an interesting opportunity for some activism, So I don't know. I think it would be tarnished. Yeah, I mean, I went to San Antonio and everything was fine until we got to a part where they had horse-drawn carriages, and I was like, I was fuming, because what is this? Like the entire city, everything we went to was really pretty and stuff, and then there was this thing with the horses, and I'm like, why? And I get it. It's San Antonio, Texas. You know, it's cowboy country. So okay. And in fact, I'm surprised I didn't see more horses. But it's like, no, why? There's no reason for that. Um, it's a tradition that we all can do without, and that we can replace it with something else. We don't need to exploit horses for anything. And when I was a kid, this is another thing. I used to love horse riding and fishing, by the way. And I was concerned for the fish, but they told me that no, the fish doesn't feel anything and whatnot. I was like, well, okay, whatever. I was a kid. I didn't know any better. But I could see that the fish was not having a great time when I took them out of the water. So I was like, well, but doesn't seem like they're having seems like they're in pain to me. So I would take them back to the water. But now I know that they can even die from the aftershock of the experience. So even if you return them to the water, they might still, die or have this horrible experience that, changes them or whatever. It's horrible. So fishing is not, it's not a good activity. It's nothing good to do. And horse riding, it's terrible because if it was true that we could, talk to horses and they would somehow actually do, consent to you and tell you, hey, yeah, hop in, like I'll give you a ride, whatever. But that's not the case at all. So it's not really a relationship there. You're imposing yourself onto them, and they're doing your bidding. They're your slaves, and it's terrible. Throw the fish back in the water and they think the fish are fine. Yeah, they're not fine. They have this traumatic experience that just happened to them. And even if they survive, they still had that horrible thing. Yeah, consent training though. Yeah, exactly. So if we could kind of talk to horses and they could say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's fine, whatever. Okay, but that's not the case. There's no communication like that. They cannot really consent to that. So there's not horse riding is not. In fact, just it's not only not vegan, it's just simply not a decent thing to do. It's terrible and it's just human supremacy. Um, but whatever, man. It's like the world is just this terrible place, and even the places that are supposed to be about fun and forgetting about your problems and stuff, they still, have this horrible animal exploitation in them. But that's because people demand it. If we actually had a vegan world, obviously these places would either not exist anymore or they would evolve and transform into something with no animal exploitation. And then all of those excuses of tradition, culture, and stuff would disappear because nobody wants it. So these places cannot do them anymore. The same when she went fishing with her siblings. Every fish they caught, she'd toss back in the water. They turn around and the fish would be gone, totally confused. I mean, yeah, when I would toss the fish back into the water, the fish would just be there, like still for a few seconds, and I would be like worried. It's like, well, what the heck? What happened to the fish? Is he alive? Is he well? And then they would just swim back. I would be like, oh, okay. But then why? If I'm, oh, she's Leslie Cross vegan today. Wow, so she's hardcore. Huh? I like it. But yeah, it's like it doesn't. Even if the fish was fine after that, it's still not fine to do any of that to them. But my life. So yeah, uh, I think that I mean, obviously, going to these places, you could go, but you have to understand that these places are not going to be um, animal friendly at all, and you're probably not, even if not directly, you might be contributing indirectly to the exploitation or something in some capacity, even if you don't want to, because the whole system is set up that way. Obviously, this is not our fault, and we still do a bunch of stuff that we wish we wouldn't do. I hate that the taxes go to animal exploitation. I absolutely hate that, and that there's nothing that we can do right now to stop that. And morning. But yeah, Aling. But yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's something that, okay, you could go, I guess, but you're gonna have to deal with the fact that it's inescapable, the animal exploitation, no matter where you go. And here in Houston, I even see people riding horses right there on the street. Like, I'm just walking, and some dudes, are just riding a horse as if they were driving a car. It's just ridiculous. Thought Martin wrote morning too. I was confused. Oh man. Obviously, yeah, yeah. Um, I thought that's what it was. Anyway, yeah. Mm, we're cuckoo with these inks. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I like it. Um, but yeah, so can you go theme? Can you go to theme parks? Can you go to Can you do Disney Inc? We don't know. Just be wary that that's what you're going to find. You're going to find instances of animal exploitation probably everywhere. And yeah, they're implementing uh, many plant-based options, even some surprising ones. But in any case, there's still, the it's a tough road ahead. We still have much work to do and much vegan education to educate people with. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. I hope you like this stream. I think I'm gonna be ending it in the next few minutes. I'm gonna let you say goodbye to your friends. The police ride horses too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the police. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, you know what's ridiculous? Policemen in horses. It's like, what the heck is that? Like, what? I don't know, man. Like, who are you chasing? The Sundance Kid, or like, what is that? Like, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like, imagine like some criminal, escaping in a Lamborghini Diablo or something, and the guy's in a horse. Like, what the heck? Like, that's just so freaking ridiculous. Doesn't even make sense. Great stream, AJ. Well, thank you, decidedly, Donna. Good to see you here. Using dogs is also messed up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like police dog, fireman dog. Like, what is that? Like, why that can't we just let the animals be? Why do we have to give them like jobs and stuff? And they never get any salary. They don't get any compensation or anything. It's not like they have like a 401k or anything. They don't give them anything. I mean, they give them food, I guess, and stuff. But come on. And those dogs, after years of service, they are so messed up because they have to sniff all the drugs and the stuff. And if they're fireman dog or whatever, fire dog, I guess, they have to sniff all the fumes and the smoke from the fires and stuff. So that messes them up. I don't know, man. It's just ridiculous. Shouldn't be objectified. Yeah, exactly. No, not at all. They should not have human professions. That's what I'm saying. And it's just ridiculous. They're not actors. They're not athletes. They're not nothing of the sort. They're not performers or anything. Yeah, I don't think dogs love to go to work. I think they don't love it, and that we project our ridiculous nonsense onto them. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Vegan Park. I love that idea. I'm gonna work on it. Well, and who knows? Maybe I am Elon's secret nephew. You never know. So anyway, I think I can leave it up to here. Thank you everyone who joined the live stream, and you know, let's yeah, let's save the animals and free them from this horrible exploitation. So bye. See you in the next one.